Okay. All right, guys. I hope everyone is doing well. This is Rudy. Hey, I've been up about 19 hours. I'm going to try my best to capture all my thoughts. I've got a plane to catch in about 3 hours, so it's going to be a long day tomorrow as well. But I felt like, I would regret it if I don't try to capture my thoughts and upload while it's still fresh in my mind, the activities of the day. The Texas Deacon and I attended the second day of Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin. And before I get into that, I just quickly wanted to say thank you to Maka Electric, the YouTuber who has a channel and put up a Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin video and supported him. I appreciate your channel, Maka Electric. I know that there's a lot of people that ridicule you, but count it all joy and count it a badge of honor that you get attacked so much, because you do speak from your heart. You do speak, the truth, and just don't let them get you down, brother. I appreciate what you do, and just don't worry about the haters. So thank you for putting up a video on Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin. I certainly appreciate that. The other thing I wanted to say, and I have a few notes here. Let me read some of my notes, but Terry Lakin today virtually stood alone against the full force and brunt of the military and the federal government. There's 325 million people in the United States, and less than 1 in a million showed up at his trial to support him. Now you have to consider that, and the fact that this man is trying to stand up for the Constitution, the oath that he took to defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And as he is doing this and risking his future and his relationship with his family, possibly being thrown in prison, less than 1 in a million Americans showed up to support him. Now consider that fact. It's an amazing thing to think about. But the kangaroo court that the government put together, and I do call it a kangaroo court, you can call me biased all you want to, but that's how I view it, did not allow Terry Lakin to submit any evidence regarding Obama's eligibility, thereby eliminating the defense of the stand that truly needed to be made, which is in regards to Obama's eligibility. The analogy that I would make out of that is if, in Texas, when you go out onto the street and to have a gunfight at the OK Corral at noon, both guys should have a gun as they're facing each other. But see, the judge, Denise Lind, she took away Terry's gun. And so he's standing, in a gunfight, and they've stripped him of all his guns. He doesn't have anything to, defend himself in the nature that it truly needed to be defended, because they would not let him present any evidence regarding Obama's eligibility. So let me also say this too, that regardless of any activities that Terry Lakin, Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin, did in that trial or did not do in that trial, the man has done more for America in regards to upholding the Constitution, more than anybody else in all of America. So I admire and support him for what he has already done, not for what he is going to do or what he did in this trial. He's already done. Even before he took a step into that trial, he had already done more than everyone else in America, and he deserves the respect of everyone in America. And as far as I'm concerned, he is a true American hero and has the spirit of a founding father. And I do fully support him, no matter what happens. Regarding the trial, the government just came right out and said and admitted that they wanted to keep the trial as quiet as possible because of its impact on junior soldiers. The government also said they expressed a great deal of concern it would cause others to question Obama's eligibility, and therefore they wanted to keep it quiet. They were concerned about the impact on the unit. They made a big deal, and they tried to demonize Terry Lakin in front of all of his military brothers and sisters. And, you know, as I look at the comments on the YouTube videos that have been put out regarding Terry Lakin, I just cannot understand how fast the military brothers and sisters will turn on their own. I mean, this Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin has spent 18 years serving his country with a flawless record. And if you just take away the birth certificate or the eligibility constitution issue of Obama, there's literally no flaw in his record. He has given exemplary service to his country. And I don't understand how you guys turn on him so fast. It is just beyond my understanding. Where is the military brotherhood that everyone talks about? I fully admit I'm not in the military. I've never claimed to be in the military. My dad was a Marine and my brother was a Marine. So I understand the concept of following orders, and I understand the seriousness of taking an oath to defend the Constitution, and I understand the pride that I saw in my dad and my brother as they joined the Marines. But what I do not understand is how the so-called brotherhood, looking at it from the outside, how you guys can turn on him so quickly. It just boggles my mind. But when they tried to demonize Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin, they brought in the replacement doctor, and the replacement doctor, his wife, was also in the military. And they literally tried to demonize Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin, saying that when he did not deploy, this other man had to deploy in his place, and it disrupted his life, and it disrupted his wife's life, and that she planned on expanding her family. And the correlation, the correlation that was built, or the connection that was built, is that when Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin took a stand for the Constitution, that these poor two souls could not expand their family. I mean, I just have a hard time buying into that. I know that the man who replaced him, I can imagine he was put out a little bit, but I would imagine that comes with the territory of joining the military, and that to make the far-fetched claim that they did not get to expand their family as they had planned because Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin decided to take a stand for the Constitution is like, that's piling on. That's just throwing the book at Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin and giving him the worst treatment that you can possibly give someone. And it's just, as I watched the system and the wheels crunch up this man today, it was absolutely sad. It was absolutely sad to see the wheels of the system just crunch, and all of the people dressed in their full uniforms just demonizing this man, and it was absolutely incredible. The other thing I'll say, and in closing, and I want to wrap this up, I don't want to make it a long video, is that they made a big deal today about following orders. And for people not in the military, that might not ring a bell, and I'm not in the military, but I do acknowledge that following orders is fundamental to the proper functioning of the military. You have to follow orders. But the Nuremberg trials taught us that each individual within the military, even down to the private, has to evaluate his orders at both a legal perspective and a morality perspective. And that when they take an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States, they don't take an oath just to defend a particular section of the Constitution, but they take an oath to defend the entire Constitution. And that includes Article 2, Section 1. And so that's for all enemies, foreign and domestic. And so when Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin took that oath, I'm sure that he did it with all seriousness, and that he understood the ramifications of that. And he understood the Constitution and what Article 2, Section 1 says about a natural-born citizen. Well, I hate to break it to you, ladies and gentlemen, but Obama is not a natural-born citizen. Even if he was born in the Lincoln bedroom, even if he produces a Hawaiian birth certificate that shows a hospital and that shows an attending physician, even if he does that, which he has not, he is not a natural-born citizen. Both his parents were not United States citizen, and it's questionable as to whether he was even born on United States soil. So you have to ask yourself, you know, when Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin decided to take his stand, he had to weigh, like, what was more important, to uphold the oath that he took, to do what's right for the entire United States of America, or to weigh that against the impact that his disobeying orders would have on his direct unit, which he loves dearly. You can tell this man loves the military. He's a physician, he's a doctor, he takes care of his fellow military brothers and sisters, and he had to weigh those decisions, and he made a decision that he was going to do what's right for America, and to, you know, uphold his oath to the Constitution. Now, you could argue that's right or wrong, but I would say that he's not the demon that the government tried to make him out to be. Matter of fact, he's the opposite of a demon. He is a true American hero. He's a hero in the manner of a founding father. So anyway, I wanted to capture this. That's my thoughts on the trial today. I've took a lot of notes. I probably got 8 pages of notes, but I'm not going to go through it tonight. I'm just too tired, and I got to get up in 3 hours to go to the airport. I've learned a lot of things today. I've talked to a lot of people. I made a lot of good contacts. And I guess I'll talk about all that later. God bless every one of you. God bless Terry Lakin. God bless America. And let's return to our godly biblical principles that America once had. That's why we were blessed. That's why we had the blessings of God. That's why we were a prosperous nation. That's why we were the shining city on the hill that everyone wanted to come to. Let's go back to our godly biblical principles, and we have a chance at saving this country. Let's don't eat, have the military eat their own by, demonizing people like Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin. He will get sentencing probably tomorrow. Let's pray that they treat him fair and that he receives justice. Let's pray that he doesn't even have to do any prison time. But regardless, this is a very tough time on him and his family. God bless Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin. God bless America. God bless every one of you. Take care.